New York City Mayor Eric Adams is pointing to a decrease in crime across the city under his administration. But just hours later, 3 people were hospitalized when someone opened fire in the city. According to NYPD statistics, through August that were released Wednesday, shootings in New York are down 26% for the year compared to the same time last year. Homicides are down 10% over the first 8 months of the year. And Adams is now calling New York the safest big city in the country.
We are continuing to trend in the right direction from the day we took office, January 1st, 2022, when we were trended in the wrong direction. We're trending in the right direction. Decrease in shootings, decrease in homicides, decrease in 5 out of the 7 major crimes.
Decrease is good, but it doesn't mean things aren't happening. Hours after that announcement, there was a shooting in Brooklyn. Police say could be gang-related. 3 men, as I said, were taken to the hospital. 2 of them have already been released, and police have arrested 3 suspects looking for a 4th. The top cop in Philadelphia also announced that she is going to be leaving her post. Danielle Outlaw is stepping down after less than 4 years on the job. She will leave later this month to become deputy head of security of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, following a tumultuous time in Philly that saw a new record for homicides in 2021. Here to talk more about big city safety and crime, Professor Scott Decker of the Arizona State University School of Criminology and Criminal Justice. Thank you for being with us. So we've got the Philly Police Commissioner stepping down. Former New York Police Commissioner Kashant Sewell stepped down in June after 18 months on the position. Is there significance in the timing of these two so close together in these major cities?
This has been a really difficult time to be a chief, which must be among the most difficult jobs that exist in America. The average term for a big city chief is just over 3 years. And among many chiefs, there's a feeling that they're what's called hired to be fired, that if they're doing a good job, that if crime rates are coming down, which they are in this post-COVID era in most cities that saw an increase during COVID, those crime rates are coming down. All that said, there's so much political pressure on chiefs that it's said they're hired to be fired. One of the other elements that changes for contemporary police chiefs is recruitment and retention. Many departments have lost 20 or 25% of their sworn staff, as well as, and this is a real key, the loss of staff in 911 operators.
Yes.
These 911 operators are the buffer between the public that's been victimized and mobilizing police resources. And when they're not there to answer those calls, it's a big challenge.
All right, so let's take these in 2 parts. Since you brought up the 911 operators, we had a graphic there in Austin. Police are backtracking after posting on social media last week that robbery victims should call 311 instead of 911, right? We know the difference to report a robbery. There are major staffing issues. What is the biggest hurdle? What's the tool not being used to recruit and retain staff for these 911 centers?
I think the law enforcement leadership in general was slow to respond to the decline and the leaving of police forces, of many officers who found COVID, frankly, to be the last straw. The challenges presented by COVID led many officers to just leave the department. And once there's a shortage, then rather than patrolling with community policing, knowledge of a specific beat or precinct, officers get moved around on a regular basis, don't get the time it takes to develop relationships in the community with businesses, with residents, and as a consequence, aren't as effective in responding to crime.
Yep. So you've got a shortage of 911 operators. You've got officers leaving the force. You study the data. Is there a big, middle, even small city in the country, but particularly big or middle, that's doing it right, that seems to have cracked the code and has a handle on crime?
Yeah, those cities I would put in that category tend to be medium-sized, say 150 to 300,000 residents. Rather than the mega cities. which are extremely difficult to police, extremely big challenges. And so when we look at medium-sized cities, Lansing, Michigan, there's some cities in Ohio, Springfield, Illinois, Peoria, Illinois, where medium-sized cities that have experienced high levels of violent crime have done something about it and brought those rates down.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.